Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Volley Rally. Today, I'm joined by yet another member of our dev team, James Jewhurst. Welcome to Volley Rally.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
James has never been on with us before, but he's a crucial member of our dev team. He is the director of engineering. If you guys tuned in to Antoine's video that we posted the other week, then you'll know that recently the dev team has gone through some changes, and we got to hear what that shift was like from his perspective. But what about you? You know, you've been with the company now with a year under your belt. How has that shift worked for you guys in the department?
I think it's going well. With change, there's always some adjustments that everybody has to make. But I think it's going well. When I started with the company, I was in a unique position, kind of doing some of these things on my own. And so I kind of implemented a lot of these things that are now becoming the team strategy. So it's very exciting to kind of meet together and talk about what that strategy is, and then start putting it together with the team. And we just started it this week. First couple might be rough, but very excited to see where this takes us.
Yeah, there's bound to be hiccups when there's, new things being adapted to departments, but
Of
that's
course.
exciting. What are you guys spending a lot of your time on right now? What's the main focus work-wise for the department?
Yeah, right now we're working on a lot of bug fixes, trying to make things smoother for the customers, and also new features coming down. We have a lot of things. We were just at NADA, so we're going to have some new items coming from there as well. We just want to stay ahead of the curve. So being able to put some of these kind of processes around that allow us to have better expectation and plan with the team. So, individually, engineers are working, in smaller chunks, but the overall picture is we're building new features. We're going to add more things to the product to benefit our customers.
And I have to say, I'm not an expert in the Volley app by any stretch of the imagination. I don't get to be in it very often, but I do go in there. I pull some numbers for us to be able to share on the marketing side of things. I have noticed the app toggling between pages is faster. I mean, like I can tell that you guys are working not only on the big picture things, you know, pushing out, new reporting dashboard type stuff, but also the little things. And I think that's, one of the things that really makes your department so good at what you do is you don't let the little things get by. You're not worried about just putting this out there to put it out there and to be done and check it off your list. When it's out there, it's perfect and you're not done perfecting it ever. You're constantly fixing it, you're constantly fine tuning it, and I mean, it shows from someone who isn't even using it every day. So I'm sure the agents and the managers getting to use it every day definitely see that and feel that too.
Yeah, I totally agree. We spent a lot of time, especially the last few months, focusing on the infrastructure of the application, the architecture that surrounds it. And we've made a lot of improvements. And this allows us to ship better code, better features that are more, that are faster, smoother, they're more quality, but allows us to just do it reliably and consistently. And so hopefully over the, coming months, that just improves and gets better and better. So it's great to hear that you're already seeing some of those improvements. I'm not in the app every day myself, but I'm working with parts of it. So it's nice to hear that feedback that, we do notice those things.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say is the biggest shift, responsibility wise, what your role looks like, your day to day from when you started versus now being in more of a leadership type role?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I came on board, I was a senior engineer. I was primarily working on my own project, known as the Integrations API. And I spent the better part of almost a year in that application, building it, bringing it to production, and it's now used every day. We have a lot of traffic in and out of that. It works with our event solutions program, stuff like that. And so while setting all that up, like I said, I put a lot of these processes in place in a small, isolated area. I think management saw the benefits from that. When I added a few more people to the team, we had reliable metrics, we had measurements, we could see the velocity of our small team. And so for me, the biggest change is I'm not coding anymore, but I'm taking all of those strategies and implementations and taking it across the broader team. How does that interact with not only the engineers, but the support staff, the customer support staff, the sales team? we're all reliant on each other in our own different ways. So to me, it's really important that it's like when a new town is built, everybody on the horse is just running in. They're coming in from the back, from the front. Cool, that works. That gets you where you're
Right.
going. But to build a commerce and build a town and have a capital, you need roads and you need buses. And so I think a lot of the past few months we spent a lot of time doing that. And we'll spend the next few months improving what we've already done. So it'll be an exciting time.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge? We've gotten here and we've made adjustments to get to this point, and the growth for Volley is exponential in the future. What do you think that next phase of things is going to look like? What do you think the biggest obstacle we'll have in that is, and how we might tackle that from a dev perspective on the coding side of things?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it could be a lot of different areas that hits. I think our biggest challenge is just up leveling ourselves and being able to continue with that throughput, or output of code and reliable features. With things emerging in the market like AI and those tools, how can we better utilize them to make sure that not only our engineers are improving themselves every day, which in turn writes better code, but also so that we can build faster and we can build more. That way, when we have the demands of the customers and the things they need to improve their own business, we don't have to say, sure, we can get to that at X time. We can move a lot faster. So I think, our biggest struggle is how do we make sure we're consistently moving forward and always catching speed, not never stagnating or getting to a point where, hey, this is a good speed. It's no, much like a race car driver, we want to go faster. And so I think it's just a matter of putting the tools and the process in place, educating the teams and the stakeholders involved, and bringing back feedback and then making adjustments, right? It's like if you're trading in the markets, you have to make your adjustments for as you buy stocks. So same thing we're doing here is, when we get a little bit bigger, we have more customers, we'll make an adjustment. When we have more engineers, we'll make an adjustment. But our plan is to keep, moving forward.
And the customers and their feedback really does play a huge part into, what you guys do. I hear Peter talk about it all the time. You
Yeah.
guys will come up with something and it's beautiful and it's incredible, and you'll give it to the customers and they'll use it in a completely different way than it was intended for, or at least what you had in mind when you built it out, but still beautiful and still works for what they want it to do. And you're like, this was not even on my radar that it would, be incorporated in this way in the BDC. And I think that's really cool. And we're fortunate to have a great customer success department that does a great job communicating with our customers and getting that feedback to us, and then in turn getting that to you guys so that you guys can keep making a product that our customers love. So it's really awesome. And it's a huge unsung hero part of customer retention, really is you guys continuing to keep our people happy. So um
Yeah, it's huge.
yeah,
That customer relationship is huge.
yeah. Looking outside of work, tell us a little bit about James Jewhurst. Take off the developer coder hat for a minute. Who are you outside of Ollie?
Yeah, I mean that's hard. I mean, outside of Volley, I still, I love to tinker with code and new things that are out there, new AIs. I love to play around with those. But let's say I'm just closing a laptop lid for a minute. I like to kick back, play some video games. My son, I have a 15 and a half year old son. He plays video games. Sometimes we play together. I like to hang out with the family, watch the birds in the backyard and the bird feeder. I love to travel. One of the things that we try to do as a family is visit all the MLB parks in
That's
the United States.
awesome.
We're only about 7 or 8 in,
Yeah,
but we have plans to add a few more this year.
you're
So it's
speaking
been
my language. I'm a big baseball girl. I played
oh
college
awesome.
softball, so the baseball's my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Well, ironically, my son loves watching softball. He has since he was like 7 or 8 years old. So it's always on. The college ball is always
hmm
on. He plays little league stuff like that. So it's just Amanda, my wife, she's a big baseball fan, and so it's just kind of like a family thing we get to do is go to the stadium, enjoy a game, have a hot dog and soda, and just kind of have a good memory.
Oh,
So
you can't beat it. The
no, you really can't.
there's nothing like it. A hot dog and a soda at the ball field, that's top tier right there. That's
Yep.
awesome. That's so much fun. What is something that you are personally really excited about that's coming up? with Volley, with the company, just anything in that realm. What are you looking forward to?
Um, it's kind of a few things that lead into one, and for me, I think it's just ultimately Volley's growth and where we're going. I think we had a fantastic NADA. The feedback that I've heard from people that were there was just amazing. The photos were amazing. Our partnership with Tachyon is just fantastic. So for me, that's where I get excited of like where we're going. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna start adding in more tooling and stuff to our own engineers, which is also exciting. And I think those are things that contribute to our growth. I know the sales team's working hard. They're working on some bigger deals and some new functions that want to come in. And so to me, just a symbiotic relationship that everybody seems to have together is why I'm excited. It's why I look forward to coming in today, coming in, talk, working people's. Everybody has the same goal. It's to help our customer achieve their success and then help ourselves achieve our own success.
Yeah, absolutely. We have someone that just joined my department, and I was talking about it with her earlier this week. I said, you're going to catch on very quickly that everybody at Volley, from the very tippy top, talking about Scott, our CEO, all the way down the ladder, wants you to be as successful as possible in your role, even if that means that you don't stay with us forever. But I feel like they know what they're doing because in turn it makes you just want to stay forever, because you're so happy and you're so satisfied in the workplace and everybody just works so well together and
Yeah.
like you said, we all want the same thing, and we're excited to grow together and that's at the heart of it. That's really what Volley's all about. So,
Yeah, and I think that's a great point too. Is I've always felt that I've been encouraged to not fail, but like leap. And that's what I really enjoyed and appreciated from Peter specifically. Is knowing where you're at all the
mhm.
time. And when you have an idea, they want to hear it, even if like they don't take it. They want to hear it, they want to debate it, and so that just kind of really makes you feel like welcome, like you're part of the team, and you're really pushing something forward together. And it just makes it so much more rewarding when it's like that. So that for me is one of the things that I enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, James, thank you so much for being
Sure.
on with us today. We really appreciate it. It's been so much fun getting to sit down and talk with you today.
Thank you. This was very fun, and hopefully I did okay. But yeah, I appreciate you.
You did great.
Thank
You did great, I promise. I wouldn't lie
you.
to you. No, I probably would. I'm just
You gotta keep me.
I'm just kidding. Well, thank you so much for being on with us today, and for everybody else watching at home, have a fantastic day.